All right, all right, all right, man. What's up, everybody? Hopefully, you had a great weekend. Hopefully, you had a great night. Here we are today for our first New York Stock Exchange for the week. Basically, the market just moved to the upside and take our targets right now. Which does NQ. Yeah, NQ has a target right there. So let me know in the chat if you can see my screen, if you can hear me, if you can see my cursor, because this morning something happened in the French, the live we were doing for the French community, and I don't want that to happen again. So let me know in the chat if you can see my screen, if you can see whatever I'm doing on the screen. Okay, so just let me know. Just let me know. All right, so in today's breakdown we had in the French channel, and I told you I was waiting for price to come back to this IC candle, and yeah, I forgot to mention this imbalance, but I saw this imbalance too, and to move to the upside and attack our target. So that's basically what I expected, and that's basically what we're gonna have right now. And I'm gonna wait for the first 15 minutes to see if we're gonna hold this idea. But man, the market just opened and moved to the upside. We come back to the imbalance and then move to the upside. So now just gotta wait and see what price is gonna do next. This is the New York Stock Exchange open. On NQ, it's basically wow, what's going on with NQ, bro? That's the second time that happens. Man, quittez barrer ça comme ça. All right, so basically, we are having a nice reaction right now, and it was expected. Okay, that's exactly what we talked about in the breakdown we just had in the other channels. So now what I want to see if price can hold that conviction. You know, I'm not gonna trying to like run after price right now. I'm just gonna wait to see if we can hold that conviction, and the market might probably come back and to go higher. Okay, so we gotta wait. Okay, you know, the first 15 minutes, the first 10, 15 to 30 minutes, the market gonna do whatever it wants to do. So basically you have to wait, you have to be patient. We're not gonna run after price. We don't do that here. Okay, we don't do that here. Now wait. Welcome everybody, welcome everyone to the stream. Welcome ST, welcome. I have my coffee with me. So let me know if the sound is not too loud. If it's good the way it is, let me just reduce this a little bit. I think it's good now. 50, negative 50 should be good. All right, so that's a yes, and That's NQ. I don't know why. TradingView is bugging this morning because I have charts, but I have to refresh every time. I have things on my screen on NQ, but I have to refresh it in order to see it. So now everything disappear, bro. This is like kind of stuff I used to get angry at a few years ago, but there is no reason to be angry or like anything. Frustration and stuff, just we just keep refreshing it. I don't know what happened, bro. Everything's good, bro. I don't know what's going on, man. Every time I'm losing some charts, some information on my charts. Just TradingView doing its thing. There's nothing I can do about it. So yeah, basically guys, as you can see, we have the reaction we wanted during the breakdowns. We talked about this low as the potential low of the day. The market might set up the low of the day right there. That's a previous day low, and we had a gap right there. We had a daily gap right there in a higher time frame on the daily. We had this gap, okay. We also had a small gap, and we also had this gap, and on H4 we still got this imbalance right there. That's why you see all of that. That's why you see the buy area is so big, I can say. Okay, that's why it's so big. So, and then the market just dropped down exactly where we put this buy area. We put this buy area on our screen yesterday. Okay, we had this buy area since last night. Okay, so the market came to it during the opening of the session. By the way, I have something to teach you, but okay, I have something to teach you. We're gonna talk about it later on. All right, so basically the market dropped down, manipulate, and reacted, and the current high of the day is a target. We have the low that might be set, and we have the target, so we know we are bullish. All right, that's not complicated. That's very simple. The thing is, we just open and we move. We just have a reaction, and we are very close to the target. We are very close to the target, and I don't know, man. If price we trace first, I might take a trade, and I would like to see a further retracement. I would like to see a deep retracement. Okay, if we trace first before we move to the target, that might be a great idea. But if we move to the upside first, for example, and the market take this target, I'm not gonna like it. I'm not gonna say it's impossible to take trades, because obviously on NQ we have other targets. On NQ we have this target right there. Well, it's very far away, but that's what I expected. And let me just zoom this area. Let me just zoom this area. Is that a target, bro? Definitely. Previous daily high is a target too. So now if the market doesn't show any sign of weakness, so I might take a long to go to previous daily high on NQ. Okay. This is exactly why I told you not to listen to what's going on outside. Just pay attention to the market. The market will always tell you what to do, because I've seen people saying, well, the market gonna be lower, we're gonna just open and drop lower, and we're gonna have a bearish market. And I don't know, bro. Until the market telling me I'm bearish, I'm not gonna be bearish. Until the market telling, bro, TradingView, bro, what's going on, man? Come on, trading view. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, trading view. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. All right. So yeah, like I was saying, everybody expects this morning the market to just be lower. Everybody expect the market to just drop because of what's going on in geopolitics stuff. But everything I'm gonna do in the market depends on what I see in the market. Okay. I was listening to somebody yesterday, somebody that I'm not gonna say I trust, but I like to listen to. He said the economy has nothing to do with the market, but and everything you listen to, they have nothing to do with the market. What's going on is just the excuse they're gonna use to move price to a certain direction. That's it. That's basically it. But they want to move price to a certain direction, something gonna happen, and they're gonna say because of that the market moved to a certain direction. Okay. But this morning I told you, well, what I expected is to see a retracement probably to this IC candle. Well, the imbalance hold it, which is not a problem because imbalance is one of our concepts too, right? And then move to the upside. So now the move happens before the opening of the session. I'm not gonna complain about it. I won't complain about it. So now just gonna wait and see if I can have further targets. If we take these targets, if we can have more targets on ES. Let me check M5. That looks good though. That looks good. And also in NQ we have previous day high as targets. Okay. We're not chasing price. We're not chasing price. Gonna stay patient. Yeah, the move happens before the opening. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Sometimes that happens, bro. Okay. But what's going on right now, that's exactly what I expected, right? That's exactly what I told you in the session we just had, like in the other channel, in the French channel. Okay. Retracement and then boom, move higher. But the thing is, I forgot to mention the other imbalance. I just talk about the IC candle and basically, yeah. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the 10. We're gonna pay attention to 10 to 11. 10 to 11. And to see after we take this target, what's gonna happen next. Because if we take this target and the market create a rejection candle, a massive rejection candle, that's not gonna be a good idea. There it is. There it is. It took all targets. Okay. Everybody that was thinking about selling at the open because of the war and stuff, rest in peace. I'm gonna do again. Just do that. Rest in peace. This is not how the market works. You actually my panel. I'm not taking any trades. I'm just sending shots to my French community. I'm just typing, guys. I'm not taking any trade right now. Okay, so now this scenario is over, you know, because we had the current high of day. The current high of day was a target, and then we just wanted to see the low of the day right there, and then we moved to the upside, and then we took our target. So now this scenario is over. What I'm gonna pay attention to now is to see if price is going to continue with this idea and keep moving higher, or if we're gonna have a reversal. Okay, because we might have a reversal right there since the scenario is over. Remember, I told you, whenever they take the target we had, the context is over. So now, of course, the market might continue to the direction we had, bullish or bearish. We might keep going higher or keep going lower, but as soon as we took our target, the context is over. Why? Because whenever you see these things on your screen, you have to note that we have pending orders right there. So the market might just activate these pending orders and then reject massively. Okay, or sometimes the market might break this area and keep going higher. We don't know basically what's gonna happen in this areas most of the time. What I want to see is what I want to do is to help the market going to this direction. So now eventually the scenario happened before the opening. That's the opening. We just launched the upside, and I was not gonna chase price right there. That's not what I do. I don't do these things. So basically the scenario is basically over right now. So we had the high of the day, the current high of the day, which was a target, and then we had a manipulation inside of this potential buy area. Remember, we had this potential buy area yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, I put them yesterday. I might be wrong, but I remember I put these yesterday with you in the stream we had together at 7 p.m. I put this buy area. So now my main concern is to wait and see whether or not we're gonna change the context. We're gonna have a change of context, or the market will hold this context because we have we have further targets to attack. Basically on NQ, I like NQ better than ES right now. Trading view, come on, man. I can't been doing that. I can't refreshing every time, bro. Stop. Anyways, all right. It's not what happens. It's how you react to it. Okay, so you can see every time trading view is doing its stuff, but there is no reason to be frustrated or to be angry or to do anything like kind of stuff. You know, it's just trading view. You don't have control over that. I don't have control over what trading view is doing. All right, but trading view, you gotta stop. Okay. So yeah, basically it's the same thing on NQ. Okay, basically on the same thing on NQ. Right now we are very close to the current high of day. And like I said, if we have a big expansion, I might consider these low as potential low of day. Since we reacted from this imbalance, since we were below the previous daily low, and then we have these targets right there. Okay, so now I want to see price. I would like to see what price gonna do if we're gonna hold this context to keep going higher. If we're gonna hold that context to keep going higher, I'm gonna wait for retracement to any concept, especially at 10. We're gonna pay attention to the 10 to go higher. So basically, if NQ stop right there, we're probably gonna have a divergence with ES. Let's just wait. Let's just wait. But the context is over, basically. Now we just want to see if price gonna hold that direction. But the context is over. Targets have been taken. So basically. And that's the pre-market low right there. 9:15, whereas 8 in the morning was there. That's the pre-market low. and that's basically that's the London low too. That's the London low. Check. Est-ce qu'il y a un high là avec gap là pas qu'un potential area? Yes. 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 Reste gap là, which means parti qui beaucoup jouer dans gap là plus as an high là. Ka of course representer un potential c'est là area, but pour aller qui côté? Well, to go where? That's the question. Just waiting for 10 because if we have a big let's say at 10, if we have a big pin bar right there and then the market can, let's say, close below this candle, that's gonna look like a manipulation. And then if we can cross the daily open, let's say in M15 minutes, M5 is good, but M15 minutes will be better. And that might telling us, all right, we have sign of weakness to go lower, but I'm not there yet, to be honest. I don't have any evidence that the high has been set. If the high is not set, I'm not bearish. As you already know, the low for me is set, and that's why I wanted to see price going higher. And now the context is over. Everything happened before 9:45, basically. So okay, we talked about everything yesterday. We talked about everything this morning on my French channel, basically, and that's exactly what happened. Well, all right, so now it's almost 10. So now if price wants to keep going higher, this imbalance should hold price. This imbalance we have on M15 right there should hold price. Let's wait. Okay, if we can do something like this, all right, or if we can like drop lower but create a manipulation at the pre-market low, not a break, not a big break, like a reaction, a manipulation, that might be something too. Okay, all right, that's the opening of 10. I wanna see a further retracement, bro. Don't say that. Don't tell me that's the only retracement you're gonna do. Seeing M5. Okay, and that can play the mitigation role too, but I don't want to put too much things on my screen. That's why I want to watch both together, but TradingView doesn't like TradingView tripping this morning. TradingView is tripping this morning, bro. NQ drop down and come to the imbalance, the same imbalance we had right there. We can see that. I would like to buy NQ, guys. I would like to buy NQ, and this retracement is not further enough. Yeah. Yeah, what the first 5 minutes gonna tell me right there. Looks like targets for me. That looks like targets for me. Just be patient and wait and see. I really want to buy NQ. We have to pay attention to that too, guys. To pay attention to that. Like that. It's already above the Asian high. I want to see continuation, guys. I'm buying NQ. $45. Let's wait for the first 5 minutes to see. So now NQ took these targets. Two things might happen. We might have another retracement. Even though the first 5 minutes show conviction, we might have another retracement to go higher. And that's basically what I don't want to see. But everything can happen. All right. First 5 minutes. Two things might happen. We might just come back to the open, go higher. Or we might create another manipulation to go higher. As of right now, but want to see a further retracement, bro. Let's see. Why I'm bullish? Probably why I'm bullish. Current low of day is set. Okay, low is set, and we had this target right there. The how do you call that again? The context was over as soon as we took our targets, but I was paying attention to see if price is gonna keep going higher or not. Okay, and then I'll wait for the 10 open to see if we're gonna like reject this area. As of right now, there is no sign of rejection. It's 10-6. In 5 minutes, we don't have any sign of rejection. I don't know in M15. All right, and we have further targets. We have targets right there on yes, and on NQ we have further targets, the previous daily high. So that's why I'm aiming for a higher pricing. All right, Just gonna put an alert right here, and snakes. Yeah, that's what I see, guys. At least I see price going to this upside right there. Take these targets right there. And well, if ES is moving to the upside, you don't want to see NQ staying right there. That's the hourly open as the first 5 minutes. Gonna the second 5 minutes, first 5 minutes, second 5 minutes. So let's see if, let's say, around 10:30, 10:45, if we can take these targets and to keep going higher. Yep. Let me check the chart real quick. We don't want to see rejection right there. Oh, that's 1 minute. Yeah, somebody said the market reacted from the imbalance and moved to the upside. Yeah, but I mean, yes. But it's just like, I don't like these lows right there. That's why if you take this trade, like, not gonna full risk. Remember what we said yesterday? In this current environment we are right now, you gotta be cautious. You gotta be very disciplined with your risk management, and also don't be too greedy, because at anything at any time, anything can happen. Well, as always, this is not something new. In trading, anything can happen at any certain moment, at any given moment. Like Mark Douglas said that. And when you're trading, you gotta expect that. You gotta expect that at any times anything can happen. So now it's gonna be how you react to it. Okay. The market might stay here, and the next 5 minutes we have a big drop movement. Well, if it happens, well, it happens. I was wrong, and that's it. You know, I was wrong, and that's basically it. There is nothing more. There is nothing more to hard on that. There is nothing more, nothing less. You just wrong. You know, but let's see, bro. Somebody said 25,099 on NQ. Yes, I have it right there. I talked about it in the stream. That's basically my only target on NQ. That's why I'm aiming upside movement on NQ. I didn't have a current high of the as target. My target was basically on ES. Okay, but since the context is over, I was paying attention to what the next 15 minutes gonna do. So yeah, I talked about it. Maybe because I didn't put it blue, but it was a previous daily high. That's why it wasn't blue. It was not blue, but let me do something. Just put it like that. Just do this. Do that. Is it the same color? There it is. Bro, if price break, if price close above this gap, bro, just gonna like watch the movie and see how price will move to the upside, bro. Just wait. That's why the daily context is the most important thing for me, you know, because like we had this opening gap. Sometimes you might see me like waiting for price to react at the opening gap to move to a certain direction, and sometimes I'm trading in the opposite of it, because the daily context is what matters for me. Anything else is secondary, you know, like primary thing is the daily context. I might do my analysis on Sunday or like 8:30 in the morning, but the daily context is basically what's gonna tell me, yo, you have to buy or you have to sell. Okay. Basically, that's simple. That's simple. If I see a move in your chart why it's not yet happening in mine, can I take a trade based to it? I'm just asking. Well, if you see something on my chart and you don't see it in yours, it's because you're late. So basically you don't pay CME group. You have to pay CME group for the data. So that's basically how it happens. That's basically why you are late, and you won't be able to take any trades, bro. Okay, you won't be able to take any trades. As the hourly open right there. Big conviction. You won't be able to take any trades if you don't pay CME group. You won't be able to analyze the real market. You're gonna be late every time. They're gonna be late every time. But now you have to understand too, the stream is a little bit late. Okay, so by the time I say something and by the time I say it and you got it, like let's say gonna have like 20 something seconds. It depends on your internet too. Okay, so that's something else. That's something else. Yes, you're gonna have between 10 to 15 minutes late. Okay, that's basically how it's gonna be. Let's wait. We have a news at 10, the PMI. I'm the PMI. Nah, I'm joking. I'm joking. So you're right. Mine is 12. So basically, you're gonna see a little D in this area. Okay, you're gonna see a D, which means delayed. Your chart is delayed by a certain amount of minutes. So if you just click on the D, and then you're gonna have to pay for the CME go. It's just $7 a month, bro. It's seven something dollars a month, and then yeah. Il faut dire 30. All right, it's 10, 18. That's the time. That's well. That's basically the time we're gonna have to start paying attention to certain stuff. Okay, it's 10:20. We know 10:30 is half of the hour, so we're gonna have to pay attention to what price will do and in the first half of the hour, because it's timing stuff. Okay, let me just put it in red. Let me just put it in red. So that's 10 to 10:30, and that's 10:30 to 11. So I don't want to see price. I'm not gonna say I don't want to see price, but if price move to the downside and then break below the daily open, the hourly open, sorry, and after 10:30, you might have a reversal. Session breaks right there. That's then, and the reversal, not to sell basically. Okay, I'm not telling you to sell. It's just like we still have this retracement was not very far. Okay, we didn't have a big retracement, so the market might retrace a little bit to the open and retrace, let's say, a little bit lower than that to keep going higher. Okay, so now let's see how the timings work, how the timing works, because it's important. Okay, that's the hourly 10 to 11. Okay, and that's the first 30 minutes, that's the second 30 minutes. We're just watching price. It's not a concept, it's not something to study and stuff. It's just timing is important too. And I don't use macros the way people do. I don't know why. Well, it's price action is very simple, and I don't know why people complicate them, but anyways. All right, so now we just coffee and watch. It's just coffee and movie. Trading view plan for a beginner. Well, you can take the cheapest one. The cheapest one is fine, bro. You don't need to have the premium of the expensive one, or the last one is very expensive, bro. You don't need to. You just need to analyze the market, and that's it. You just need to analyze price, and that's it. That's why I said 1030 is very important. Because 1030 might create a reversal and set the high of the hour. And if we break the below the hourly open, there is a high chance to have a reversal. But just watching price right now. If we're gonna have a reversal, I would like to see price drop with conviction. And well, when I say I would like, it's not like I'm bearish, but if we're gonna have a reversal, the market will create the reversal with conviction. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Big reaction right now. Inside of this imbalance M5 on ES. Big reaction, we can say at the IC candle on NQ. Imbalance M5 on NQ. But yeah. I think you're talking about this one. It's very small on NQ. It's not easy to see, but we can see right there. It's almost 1030. It's almost 1030. 1030 will either like saying, all right guys, I'm not bullish, or all right guys, I'm gonna keep going. When I say I'm not bullish, it's not like we're gonna have a massive retracement. It's just like the market has the potential to create a further retracement. Okay, if you're watching price on M15 right now, it's not like you have a retracement. Okay, we have retracement on lower time frame, yeah, but on M15 for example, you don't have retracement. So the market still have a potential to as the market still has the potential to retrace. So if we're gonna retrace, so this area might create a retracement, but I'm not bearish. A low is set, low of day is set, and I'm not bearish, bro. I don't know. That's that's basically how I see things. Okay. If you're watching price on, let's say on H1, if you're watching price on H4, you're gonna see like we just had a big bullish candle. See, that was the manipulation, and then that's a big expansion. If I got on H1, that was the manipulation, that's a big expansion. So after this big expansion, the market might create a retracement. You never know. If this candle close and we have an imbalance on H1, you know, if we have an imbalance on H1, the market still might retrace to this imbalance on H1. Okay, so that's why I see you guys. Why, if we're gonna have a reversal at 10:30, we're gonna have it, but not a reversal to just short the market and then to go lower. I might be wrong. Well, I don't care, but I might be wrong. But that's how I see things. That's basically how I see things. How I see things. Okay. So now what you don't want to see is to see like a big pinball candle. I don't want to see that. Okay. So now the market took the targets and then we still above it. Okay. Just comment. We still don't have any sign of weakness. Okay. But now if we close below the hourly open at 10:30, that might be a sign of weakness. That's why I was paying attention to 10:30. Okay, 10:30 might create the retracement and then come back to any area right there and to move higher again. Well, hopefully we don't have a slow market, because I don't want to see a slow market, bro. I don't want to see a slow market right now. Let's watch big drop. Oh. If we close below the hourly open massively, I'm just gonna wait for another potential confirmation, probably inside of an imbalance on H1 or inside of an imbalance on 15 minutes to keep going, still going higher. But we're still inside of this opening gap. All right, it's 10:30. We're still inside of this opening gap, but it doesn't match my context. All right, right now. Okay, doesn't match with my context right now. So all right. Check. Somebody talked about YM, but like I said the other day, slow down on YM a little bit this week. Like I was saying, YM, it's like you can't really ignore it completely, and you can't really pay attention to it 100%. That's a nice target right there. That's a nice target right there. But are we gonna drop down massively and take them? Probably we're gonna have to wait for potential manipulation, and in which high. So we still have this opening gap too, the same gap we have on NQ and ES right there. Same gap we have on NQ and ES right there. So, but which highs, bro? That's the Asian high. We are above it. That's the Asian high. We are above it. As the previous daily high right there. Um, I don't really analyze YM, so, but yeah. But that's a nice target. That's a nice target, and this target might create. Let's say if we can create a nice candle in M5 or a nice manipulation to retrace and go lower. And for that to happen, we want to see NQ. All right, we want to see NQ like deactivate or invalidate the buy scenario, but I don't see that happening right now. I'm basically gonna say I'm bearish if we break all of these candles, because the market still has the potential to retrace and then move higher again and take this target. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but anyways. Okay. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And just, we have a big rejection right now on H1, but it's not closed yet. The market start to show sign of weakness right now. And exactly at 10:30. That was the 10:30 candle. That's what happens when the context is over. What happens when the context is over. But I still see price, even though if we break right down, if we retrace, I still see price retrace to this one of these imbalance and to keep going higher. I still see that, bro. I don't know. I still see that. Well, since we have a potential selling opportunity on YM, and YM is basically the, no, YM is not the weakest index, but they're not very far away. There is not too many difference, because 48,410 is a target on YM. So if I'm gonna drop taking these targets, so the other assets might retrace to with M, and then after that, I would like to see price keep going higher. All right, the first 5 minutes is over, and we still not close below the hourly open, but it doesn't look bullish anymore right now. Just waiting. Just waiting. Just waiting. We got this inversion. We inverted this imbalance on M5. That's not what you want to see, but that's not enough for me to change my context, because that's not enough for me to change my context. The context remains the same. That's a break even. Now, what I don't want to see happen on ES, for example, let's say we have the low set and the high set, we're gonna stay in between forever, bro. And that's another stuff. That's another story. Thank you. Same thing. I forgot if NQ was the priority. Nothing we can do. Then wait and see. Let me check the charts real quick. 20,000 NQ, we might take them react on the 15 imbalance and go higher. I think you were about, I think you were saying 800, 24,800. You said 28,000? Well, I can't even see 28,000 in the screen. I think you were saying 24,800. Right there. I think that's what you were saying. Is there a correlation between NQES and YM? Bro. Yes, but since you are a beginner, are you new to this channel, bro? Are you new to this channel? You're probably new or probably are new to this channel, because that's something I've been saying that's something we've had on the channel for years and years. The correlation between the indices. That's manipulation on NQ. Big upside. I like it. That's a target on NQ, bro. Well, if you were not present in the start of the session, I'm sorry, but I explained everything. I explained why I see bullishness. I explained why I still want to see price going higher. And I can't repeat everything. So we still react from the hourly open. We don't break it. That's ouf de soulagement. Bon, let me do ouf de soulagement. It's just like, that's exactly what I didn't want to see. Okay. Even though like we had the inversion and we have big movement to the downside, but if at 10:30, and I give you the time, right? But if at 10:30 they closed below the hourly open, that will send a message that probably the low of the hour is not set or something, but we still react from it. So do you have pre-registered video about that? Bro, before you even watch me, watch the videos, because if you just come here and watch, you're gonna ask a lot of questions. It's not bad to ask questions, but I can't answer things that I've answered on the channels already, like the concepts and everything. I have 600 videos. I have 600 videos for a reason, right? So basically, if you kind of like this reaction, guys, I like this reaction. And now, what about wine? I don't know. I told you I don't know anything about wine, but so can I say the high is set? Not yet. That's one thing. I can't say the high is set yet to attack this target, because either way you gotta wait for price to set the highs. So it's not set yet. And I don't have any highs right now in this area other than, let's say that was 10. Well, I have any highs. That was the Asian high. They just break it. They don't manipulate it, they just break it. So my next highs, or my next the next area I would like pay attention to, probably the 50% of the previous day range. But even though you will have to wait for price to set a high first, because it doesn't matter, the market has to set the high first and manipulate it. Okay, if you don't have any highs that's been manipulated, well, you're probably trading somebody else's strategy, but not mine. Okay, not mine, you know. So, well, but going balance, huh? Trading view is burging, seriously. Trading view is burging, seriously, bro. Yeah. But that's basically what happens when the context is over, man. That's basically what happens when the context is over. I explained to y'all what I wanted to see during the sessions, and everything happens before 10. Like 9:45, you had everything. And then now the market put us in a situation to see whether or not we're gonna if we're gonna hold that direction, or if we're gonna hold that context for the day. And it's gonna take some times, because it's like the context is over. The movie start with the manipulation, right? The movie start with the manipulation, and it's over when we take the targets. But we know these targets, two things can happen in these targets, right? The market might reject them massively, or the market might break and retest and keep going higher. So the best opportunity is to find this area. The best opportunity is right there. The best opportunity is right there. Okay. When the market was setting the low, or after the market has set the low, any retracement to keep going higher. But 9:45, we took the targets, which means the movie is over, basically. Okay. And then everything I said after that, it's just based on experience. Okay. And 10:30, exactly 10:30, we drop down, but we never break the hourly open, you know, because 10:30 is basically at 10:30. I most of the time I have to see if the high or the low of the hour is already set. Okay. Can we still consider the IC candle as an entry, or can we go higher, like on say 68,000 6,840.5 and wait for the retracement on yes? Well, if you are not on any type of trades right now, I would suggest you to wait for retracement. If you are not, if you're already on a trade, well, just wait anyways. Okay. But the only thing I know, I'm not bearish. Okay, sorry, that's what I've been telling you. I'm not bearish. The low of the day is set, forget everything about selling. That's how I operate. Okay, the low is set, all right, forget everything about selling. The high is set, well, forget everything about buying until the market telling me the low that I considered as manipulation, or the low that I thought that was set was not set, or the high that I thought that was set that's been set was not set. Other than that, it's set right now. It's set right there. So I'm not gonna sell. That's the only thing I know. That's why I told you, well, yes, we have some nice targets, but can you say the high is set? I can't say the high is set. That's why I can say that. If I can say the high or the low is set, there is no opportunity, bro. Because I can either wait for the high or the low to be set on my session, or sometimes when I open my screen, the high or the low or the day will be already set. So which means when I open my screen, the low is already set, the high is already set. All right. Don't really like this environment right now. Are we gonna have a small divergence right there between AS and NQ? I don't know. The IC candle is an institutional candle, but that's how I've learned it, and that's how they taught me, like years and years and years and years ago. But nowadays somebody changed the names, and I don't know. You can call it trader promo, okay? That's not gonna be a problem. But yeah, the IC candle is an institutional candle. It's basically telling us basically when, where, and how the algorithms have like inject liquidity, okay? Which means before every up movement and down movement, you're gonna have most of the time an IC candle, and then after the IC candle, we're gonna have imbalance, and sometimes the market will retrace inside of this imbalance, not the IC candle. That's why we pay attention to both of them. For example, this morning, okay, I consider this as IC candle. Okay, I want to see price retrace, all right, but the market come back to the imbalance and then move to the upside. Why it was the IC candle? Because we had a manipulation. And this down candle, the last down candle before the reversal, is the IC candle. And you can use the same thing on lower time frame. It doesn't matter the time frame, it's gonna be the same thing. All right, so let's see, bro. Let's wait and see. The market is going to teach us patience right now. The market va considérer comme une zone divergence, coach. Réponse à toutes questions sur channel là. We have all of these answers on the channels, guys. That's basically what I told you recently. When I'm live, I'm focusing on what's going on right now in the chat. I'm not gonna answer questions about concepts. You know, it's not because I'm I'm not gonna be like, it's not like I'm rude or something, but it's just this session is not to teach you concept. This session is to trade in front of you. It's different. Okay, that's what I do. Separate sessions. I do different things. Okay. Sometimes the program is to teach you something, but sometimes the program is to trade in front of you, and the New York Stock Exchange is to trade in front of you. And most of the questions you ask, the answers, they're gonna be in the channel, guys. Okay, just watch the videos and you're gonna have the answers. Because you asked me if the pre-market low is basically an area that we can consider for divergence. Everybody that's been watching me know this answer already. So watch the videos in the channels, guys, and you're gonna have all of the answers. All right, take it back. I know you guys. I know my Asians. I know how you think. I say, me c'est pas les d'avem. Anyways, it's almost 11. I usually close the stream at 11. So I see price staying there for a moment. Okay, I see price staying there for a moment, and then after that, whether we can have a retracement to this imbalance and to move higher, or in the next hour basically, or whether or not we're gonna have movement to the upside before the retracement. And that's why we call the reaccumulation, and that's why we call distribution. So anyways, just gonna have to wait and see. You have my idea. All right, so you know my idea, guys. All right, somebody said it's gonna wait for the retracement. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good thing. Okay, and yeah, we stay in this area forever now. That's what happens when the context is over. When the context is over, bro, market's gonna stay in between. Market gonna stay in this area forever. That's why, because the other day somebody asked me that, why, if you know sometimes the market gonna break and retest the targets or react from the target, why we can just wait for price to break or retest or reject it. That's gonna be like super resistance in my opinion. And basically sometimes you're gonna be wrong. It doesn't matter the decision you take. Okay, all right, that's gonna be it for today, guys. It was a pleasure to be here with you. Okay, it's 10:55, so see you tomorrow 9:30 for another session. See you tomorrow morning 8:30 on my French channel for the market breakdown again, to see if we can do something like that again, what we did this morning. And then 9:30 we're gonna be in this channel to trade again, like to see what the market might provide as opportunity. And well, we got this imbalance. We can see we create this imbalance, react from it, we inverted it, we cross it again, we come back to it again. That's basically how the market telling us, well, you're gonna suffer or you're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait before I decide what direction or which direction I'm going to. Okay, so like I said, if you're already on a trade, just stay patient. Be patient. The hourly open, well, we're gonna have a new hour, but the hourly open we have on 10 at 10, the candle 10 to 11, it's basically whole price, as you can see. and I'll pay attention to the next hour to see what's gonna happen. Okay, sorry, because I think even though if we're gonna have a retracement, the next hour gonna create a manipulation first, right? As most of the time, or the market gonna create a big candle to the upside or to the downside, which gonna looks like a manipulation, even though we don't take any lows or any highs. We're gonna have certain rejection. Okay, and if you don't take any trade yet, I will suggest you to wait probably for a retracement further inside of this imbalance. And if we don't do this retracement, don't force the market. Okay, because the context is over. That was our target. Low set, retracement, boom, move higher. But everything happens at 9:45, bro. It is what it is. So see you tomorrow. Somebody asked me to do a video about risk management and execution. So I have so many videos about that. But yeah, I can do that anytime. In the Discord for sure. I can do that any certain times, at any given time, any given moment. I will let you know. I will let you know when I'm gonna do it. I will let you know when I'm gonna do it. But if you're in the Discord, you're supposed to have all of these things, bro. Bro, come on. Makele, you're in the Discord. You have all of these things. You have all of these things, bro. Watch them. Try to ask questions if you don't get them, if you don't understand them. Trying to apply what I've said in this video, and then I'm pretty sure you're gonna understand them, because they are not very complicated. They're not too complicated to understand. So next hour can create the retracement into the 1 hour IPA. Yeah, so now we're gonna have the close of the hour, and yep, you're right, and we're gonna have this imbalance right there on H1. Yep, we're gonna have this imbalance on H1, and this imbalance might be the staple stone for price to keep going higher. Okay, so it's almost 12 p.m. It's almost lunch, and that's basically why I told you to observe the mass and do the opposite. Trading make me depressive because you don't know what you're doing, bro. And it's not trading, it's you. You make yourself depressed. What create depression? Trading can't create any outside event. No outside event has power over you. You decide them to change your mood, change your stuff, change your things, and well, you can blame them, but it's not trading, bro. I hate when people saying stuff like that, like trading make me this, trading make me that. And even though it's not trading, X or Y or Z things make me this, make me that. You decide to be that way. You choose that way. You choose to be depressed, bro. Not trading. And you're not gonna make success in anything if you keep blaming things, bro. We gotta stop blaming stuff or blaming people. You gotta start blaming yourself. You make yourself depressed, not trading. Trading has nothing to do. That's just candles that moving up and moving down. Nothing else. It's just something on your screen. How can you let something that you're watching on your screen, on your computer, has this effect on you? I'm gonna tell you why. Like I said, the problem is not trading, but the problem is you. But trading is like a mirror. If you have ego, you're gonna see them in the market, and you're gonna feel depressed because that's the energy that's the frequency you are up to right now. And you're gonna see it in the market, and you're gonna think, well, the market make me depressed, the market make me sad, the market make me unhappy, the market breaks me, the market hurts me. You just keep blaming stuff. You just don't want to take responsibility to fix yourself. And unless you do that, you're not gonna see any results, bro. And it's not just in trading, it's in everything. It's sports, trading, any career. If you keep blaming outside events, you will never have results, bro. Because the way you think is the opposite of the way you should thinking to make money in this market, bro. This market was not designed for us. You have to know that. It was not designed for us, okay? So you are not depressed because of the market, okay? You are depressed because you choose to be depressed. You're depressed because, well, what creates depression? Depression is a lack of action, okay? It started with ignorance, okay? And then after that, you're gonna be awareness. But if you don't take action, that's gonna create anxiety. That's gonna create an anxiety, and anxiety will lead to you're gonna like try to compress everything that's happening, okay? Instead of trying to fix stuff, you are moving away from them because you are anxious, and that's gonna create more anxiety. And the more you do that, the worse you become, and that's how you're gonna be depressed. That's how depression works. And it's not because I'm not gonna say depression is not real or somebody can be depressed or stuff, but like I was saying, it's not because of the market, okay? It's because you're anxious. So now, if the market makes you anxious because you don't know what you're doing, do I look anxious right now? Nope. Do I look anxious? I don't think so. Do I look like I'm afraid of the market? I don't think so. It's just candles. I decided to open this screen. I take the decision to open this screen. So why should I let the market has like certain like effect on me? It's not gonna happen. First, you were ignorant to the situation. Second, you got awareness, and then you decide not to take actions. And lack of action create anxiety. And more anxious you become, more depressed you're gonna feel. And the problem is not the market, the problem is you. Okay? The problem is you. And if you don't fix that, you're gonna feel like the market is against you every time. The market is not against you. You just don't fix what you have to fix. And most people, they get anxious, they got depressed because they don't fix the right things. Instead of fixing themselves, they change strategy. Instead of fixing themselves, they look for another Discord community, another like calls, another indicators and stuff. They keep fixing stuff, but they fixing the wrong things. Fixing the wrong things means you're not gonna have the proper results or the results you expect. And then if that keeps going to happen for like 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and you're gonna feel more depressed. And if you don't fix that, you might like, sorry to say that, but you might kill yourself. That's why whenever somebody says stuff like that, you see, I was about to close the stream, but I see your comment and I stop, and I'm like, no. Whenever somebody says something like that, I'm like, bro, it's not trading. And it's the same thing when people saying, well, this work makes me depressed. It's not the work. It's not work. Well, mal travail ça fait me get depression. Well, I get that because I've been in this field and I know that Most of the time, the work is not the problem. It's the people at work, like, who are gonna give you problem, you know. But you should be able to master yourself and understand that you can't control what other people, what others think, what others do, the way they think, what they are doing, their actions, or none of that. The only thing you can control is your actions, your thought, and your stuff. Okay. My last job, I didn't say any words. I just quit. Okay. They did something to me. They don't see me anymore. That's it. I didn't give letters. Well, nah, don't. That's anybody who did that. You are very stupid. Like, write a letter to say you're gonna quit a job. Why? They just don't see me anymore because I'm not gonna let them make me feel depressed, anxious, and anything. If something keeps happening, and I do my jobs, I do what I have to do, I do what they ask me to do, anything's changed, I'm just gonna leave the work, and that's it. Why? Because that's what I can control. But most of you don't want to leave your job, and even though a lot of things happening, because you're gonna tell yourself, well, I don't know if I'm gonna find another job. I don't know if I'm gonna find something else. You're gonna find another things. Trust me. You're gonna find it. Well, you might take 3 months, 6 months. That might take sometimes. You might suffer a little bit. Well, either way, that's life. That's part of life. But if you keep saying the work make you depressed, the work gives you anxiety, and you keep going to this work, so you choose this work over yourself. You choose this work over like your health, your emotions, and over everything. And it's the same thing in trading. You let trading bring fears, you let trading bring emotions, you let trading make you feel depressed. The problem is not trading. The problem is you. The way you think, your actions, your thought, the way you see the market, the way you act, your routines, your discipline. Because that's the thing you gotta change. It's not the market. Okay. How many times we have weeks without, not weeks, but 1 week might pass by and no clear opportunity. And you see everybody looking for other assets, everybody looking for other stuff. I always say the same thing. I'm not gonna leave the indices. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay there. I'm gonna keep analyze them. They don't give me opportunity this week, they might give me opportunity next week. And then what happens? Well, everybody leave, and then now the market is better than last week. Well, we find some good opportunities last week, right? Because we stay there. That's basically how I see things. So you are not depressed because of the market, brother. Okay? You are not depressed. And I don't know if it's a man or a woman. I don't know. But you're not depressed because of the market. Trading doesn't make you depressed at all. It's not trading. It's you. You have to take the accountability to change yourself. I decided to change myself. Everybody that wins, everybody you see winning in any field, basketball, soccer, American football, tennis, any career, they decided to change themselves. But if you keep blaming outside events, bro, you're gonna keep, the more you're blaming outside events, more outside events you're gonna have to blame. Okay, the more you blame people, more people you're gonna have to blame. That's how it works. That's how it works, buddy. All right, see you tomorrow.